If you had to explain humanity's relationship with time using only 100 watches spanning in 5 centuries, which ones would you choose? Most of us won't be able to decide which 100 watches to include in the history of horology, whereas some won't be able to choose the 100 watches from their own collection only. And that's the bold promise that is a bold promise behind 500 years, 100 watches, a book that doesn't just catalog objects, it curates meaning across eras of innovation, invention, culture, politics, design. And unlike brand monographs or collector guides, this volume takes a macro view of horological history, positioning timepieces as witnesses to transformation, power, and taste. Today, we dive into what makes this book not just informative, but essential for anyone who sees watches as maps of history, not just mechanics. The book was authored by Alexander Barter and Daryn Schnipper, two of the world's most informed voices on watch collecting and horological archives. Alexander Barter spent over a decade at Sotheby's watch division, rising to deputy worldwide head and later founding his own consultancy. Daryn Schnipper is the chairwoman of Sotheby's International Watch Division and has overseen the sale of many of the most significant private collections in modern history. This combined lens is not purely academic or purely aesthetic. It's historical, curatorial, and market aware, which gives this book both weight and authority beyond typical watch literature. 500 Years, 100 Watches is a chronological anthology of significant timepieces, organized by century, and it tells the evolution of watches from early portable timekeepers to modern mechanical masterpieces. The book is around 300 pages long, lavishly produced with over 350 color photographs, structured in spacious double-page spreads, designed to be both a reference and narrative, and written for collectors, enthusiasts, historians, and curious minds alike. It's not a catalog of every important watch. It's a curated selection chosen by experts for historical impact, technical innovation, and cultural significance. The guiding idea behind the book is simple but profound. Watches are not just machines that measure time. They are artifacts of society. Organized by century, the author traces how watchmaking evolved alongside scientific revolutions, shifts in political power structures, technological breakthroughs, and cultural transformations. This approach transforms the rich watch and its ancestors into documents of human progress, each presenting a context as much as a function. Among the 100 timepieces included, you'll find early portable timekeepers from the 16th and 17th centuries, including experimental balance spring and astrolabile dial watches. John Harrison's marine chronometers, which reshaped navigation and therefore empires. Breguet's precision watches that defined classical horology, or Patek Philippe's super complications, milestones of mechanical complexity. Then you'll find Rolex and Omega tool watches, which helped define 20th century sport and space age narratives. You will also find contemporary pieces like limited edition Roger Smith, representing 21st century independent watchmaking. And this list is not about popularity or about trend, it's about impact, the ability of a watch to tell a broader story about the era that it emerged from. Instead of focusing on brands or calibers or collectors, this book structures its narrative around time itself. Each chapter corresponds roughly to a century, from the 16th to the 21st century, and is introduced with a brief overview that frames the social, scientific, and cultural context of that particular era. Within each chapter, the authors present watches in chronological order, pairing each with historical context, with the reason why they matter, and how it connects to its century's bigger story. This is a history through objects, not around objects. But here's the political dimension woven throughout. A watch is not merely a timekeeper, it is a signal. When John Harrison solved the longitude at sea problem, he reshaped naval power. Or when the Omega Speedmaster went to the moon, it became part of a geopolitical competition. And when precision standards shifted, industrial economies shifted together with them. Each of these watches is a node in a larger political, economic, and technological networks. And this book, by selecting them, tells a story not just of craft, but of why timekeeping mattered in shaping systems of power. One of the strengths of this book is its visual clarity. Every watch is shown in high resolution, often with detailed photography that allows you to see what made that watch exceptional. Not just to know that it existed. The images aren't decoration, they are evidence, proof of innovation, proof of design and craftsmanship across time. Because both authors come from Sotheby's world, the book also has a subtle market framing. The watches that survive, get documented, and get remembered are often those that were collected, that were traded, that were written about, and even fought over. That doesn't devalue them, it places them in a cultural economy of significance, where what is worth preserving is in itself a historical statement. That perspective turns this book from a museum tour to a living archive. And here's the insight that stays with you after reading 500 Years, 100 Watches. History is not just written, it is curated. By choosing 100 watches across 5 centuries, Barter and Schnipper are making an argument about what mattered, why it mattered, and how we can read society through the machines it made to track its own passage. This is history with a heartbeat, literal and metaphorical, of course. So what is then this book? Well, it is part historical anthology, part collective memory, part method for reading time through society. But actually, I want to hear from you about which century's watches resonate with you the most. The early mechanical inventions, the precision age, or the modern innovations, or art. If you could add one watch to the 100 that are here, what would it be, and why do you think it deserves to be here? And what does that choice say about how you yourself read time? So drop me a message or send me a comment, because watches don't just measure time, they record human meaning. And this is Watches and Politics. Don't forget to subscribe, to share it with someone who reads objects like stories that they are, and I'll see you in the next chapter.